What's up, man?
Hey, Vic. I want to welcome everybody to the second cast in the new year in 2022. Welcome to another edition of Comics Cast. Let it out. Yeah, it's good to be here. It's going to be Vic's second show. It's the second show in the new year, 2022. Yeah, lots of twos in this one. So, anyway.
Yeah, sure is.
Anyway, I want to take a moment to talk a little bit about Comics Cast, what Comics Cast is, and what Comics Cast Let It Out is all about. So, Comics Cast, we are a small group here on Facebook as well as the YouTubes. Here we go. We got follow us on YouTube.
Got Joe.
Yeah, Joe is already
Joe watching us. Make sure we don't mess up.
Yeah, so Joe is our partner. He's he's our partner in crime. He's the CEO of Comics Cast. So, Comics Cast is all about promoting the indie creator, whether you're a publisher, you're an artist, you're an inker, you're a colorist. If you're in the indie art community, comics community, we want you on the show. And that's what Let It Out, following up with what Let It Out is, it's a show that features one artist or guest, or several guests. I'm like tongue-tied right now. Basically, we have a guest or a studio that's in the indie community. We have them come on, and then we basically interview them, and we do a little bit of talk and draw. I can't say draw and talk because that's copyright Tyler Carpenter. But anyway, we have you on the show. We do a little interview. We get to showcase their artwork. And if they have any type of crowdfunding campaign, it's all about promoting them. So that's what Let It Out is about, because we have a drawing component as well. And that's all fun because you get to see the magic happen before your eyes. So if you look at the bottom, Vic, if you'd be so kind to pull up our YouTube page. And let's get that up there. Yes, there you go. And if you look at the scrolling ticker below, we really want to push social media this year. We're working on getting a greater visibility on YouTube. That's already been there, as well as Instagram. And Vic has taken it upon himself to make sure that we are seen on Instagram. We're still working a little bit on TikTok. We'll see if we can move in some really cool some dances, Comics Cast official dances. I have no idea. But anyway, you can see we have a plethora of videos here. I want to say there's over 100. It includes earlier episodes of Let It Out, as well as inside the indie artist studio, as well as the artist roundtable. There's just a whole lot of good stuff in here. You can check out all of our fantastic guests and some of our other special shows. That's our YouTube page. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way, and let's get to the nitty gritty, which is our guest for today. So here we are on January 16th. Our guest for today is, I'm going to do the drum roll, and Vic is going to get him in. So here we go, the drum roll. And we have Mr. Lee Jiles. Welcome, Lee. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about y'all?
It's cold
doing good,
here.
Doing great.
It's cold in Northern Virginia. But we are warming up because we got Lee here. I wanted to say that Lee was one of the, I'm going to have to say he was one of my, I guess he was number 6. He was our 6th guest when Let It Out came out. And I have to say, I'm quite embarrassed about how I was running the show back then. He was very patient with me, and Vic got a hoot watching me struggle. I'm still not much better than that, but it's not about me. It's about our guests. We want to make sure that they shine, and it's okay. I can bumble and screw up all I want, but we just got to make sure that Lee gets the attention that he deserves. So Lee, welcome back. A lot has happened since 2020, right? I mean, you've got a lot of cool things that are going on, and we're going to talk all about it. So right before we get into it, which is going to be the elevator pitch of the show, right. I want to bring everybody's attention to the scrolling ticker at the bottom. Now, you can see that, the big scrolling ticker that's underneath Lee's video window. I'm gonna pop that into the comment field. I want our guest to go subscribe, follow him. Not yet. I want you to stay here because you're gonna see the magic happen with Lee. But I want everybody to make sure that you go there and you follow, subscribe Lee, because when you see what he has to show today, you're gonna want to be in the know. You're gonna make sure that you follow him, because it's some phenomenal projects that he's going to show us. And I don't even want to like tease it anymore. Let's just get into like the elevator pitch. So the elevator pitch is basically where I hand the mic over to our guest. In this case, it's Lee, and Lee will just talk about his artistic journey. I think since it was close to 2 years since you were last here, you can kind of like start from the beginning. We can talk about the genesis of Lee and his art journey. And I will populate some art, some eye candy, which is his art from a couple of his projects. And we'll go from there. So the mic is officially in your hands, Lee, and let's go.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Lee Jiles. I'm publisher at About Time Comics. I'm a creator and artist as well. I've been drawing comics and drawing as long as I can remember, pretty much. So I think it was around 2011, my partner, Eric Dotson, who is also the inker on Godsend, he's my partner at About Time Comics. We had been working for other companies, doing some other things, and we always had these ideas of doing our own thing. So Eric said, it's about time that we do our own thing. So there you go.
Oh,
Comics.
That's a secret. Okay, gotcha.
And then from there, it was still it was a long journey before we had our first book published. It was a learning experience. But I think we got into it at the right time with Godsend. And that was our first and still our flagship title. We have 6 issues of Godsend right now. We also have In Flight Service, which is a secret agent book, 2 issues. And we have a book by Eric Dotson, Dreamer, that's in the works. And Scott Wilkie's The Legend of Everett Forge, steampunk western, 3 issues, and that's still going.
Looks like you got a fan.
Oh, hey.
You have a fan there.
Yes. And then we, of course, have the upcoming Red Scare. We had one failed Kickstarter campaign, and we're going to relaunch that soon.
Well, let's not call it failed. Let's just say that it was unsuccessful because it's going to be even larger.
It's going to be better. Yes. That was just a tease campaign.
Yes, that's what it was. That was what okay, so you're talking about Red Scare. Keep on going, and about your art journey, and then we'll go deeper.
It's just been when we did decide to start with Godsend, even though I draw, I just full-time job, family, and everything. I knew that if I tried to draw myself, that I would still be working on issue 1 right now. So I found an artist, Oski Yanez, in Argentina, and really great artist and a great guy. And he has drawn all 6 issues of Godsend. So I really love his style. And also, I'm a writer to an extent, more a creator. So I know my weaknesses. So I got a writer to write the script. I would send him my ideas, and he would turn it into a script. Peter McLeod in Australia. And when I saw his first script for Godsend, after I'd sent him my ideas, it was just like we were kind of sharing the same mind. It was like the things he added that I didn't have in there was something I was like, man, I should have added that because that's perfect. So he's also been the writer on all 6 issues. Great writer. He actually just had a movie that was released in the United States. It's called I'm not gonna be able to think. I'll think of it in a minute.
Okay, no problem.
He's moved into the movie business now, so he's doing more of that than he is focusing on comics, which that's a good thing because Godsend issue 6 was the end of the first story arc, so that's kind of wrapped up. That the origin story is finished, so that's good. I don't know where we'll go from there, but
I know where you guys are going to go with there. I think he's in the movie business, so I'm waiting for the Godsend movie. I think that's in the works.
Exactly. I wish.
Let's not like think it's a wish. I'm thinking it's going to become a reality. And we showed some of the Godsend artwork, and right now we're flipping through some Red Scare stuff. So one time, let's just do one more once over here since you're talking about Godsend. One of the cool things that you mentioned or that we want to highlight about Lee is that, he is a creator, but you're also a publisher. I think that's one of the things that is unique among our pantheon of guests that we've had here is that you're a publisher as well. And to me, that speaks volumes of you. You're a creator, but you're also thinking about other creators. you're thinking about getting eyes on them. You want to talk a little bit about, what made you want to become a publisher as well as a creator?
Yeah, we Eric and I had just kind of accidentally got into it. We thought it would be cool because we saw so many great books out there and so many great artists and creators, and so we just kind of put it out there. And we're small, so we knew we wouldn't be able to take on a lot, and it would have to be something that would really fit in. And after a couple of people didn't work out for various reasons, we ran to Scott Wilkie, the Legend of Everett Forge. He came to us looking for a publisher, and I loved his story. I loved the artwork, just really great. And steampunk Western is something different, and that's kind of what we were looking forward to. To add in, we had superhero, we had secret agent, we had sci-fi type stuff. So that was a whole something different to bring in, and that's something else we were looking for. So, like I said, he's up to 3 issues on that, and he's kind of taking a hiatus to work on other things. And then we also published 1 issue of American Blade Runner for a couple of guys, and then they've it's one of those things where people kind of disappear sometimes, and that's fine. The contract said they could get out whenever they wanted to, and we could too. So that's I don't think we'll see any more of that, but it was a pretty cool book too, kind of a reminiscent of G.I. Joe, $6 Million Man kind of thing. A really cool story, good artwork, but just kind of fell apart, on that end, on their end, I guess. So
well, the important thing is that it was another title to add to your stable of really cool IPs that you kind of published, and I think that's a great way for you to give back to the indie community, because that's what Comics Cast is about too, and that's also how your name came to our attention. My partner Joe Tolliver reached out to you. You had a very good following, a really awesome group. I forgot what the name of your Facebook group is, but you had a substantial, membership. You started that. You want to talk a little bit about that in terms of starting that up? And
yeah, that was something else. Indie Comic Spotlight is what the page was, and and there again, it's just try to help promote, because as long as I've been doing this, I realized that you can promote until you're blue in the face, and there's still going to be people who don't know about your work. And so I thought, there are a ton of Facebook pages out there, but why not add another one? I mean, every little bit helps, and we did have a large following on there, and
you definitely
it's still growing, so that's what the goal was.
I think
people oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say that you set the example, because we saw what you were doing with your page, and Comics Cast, Joe Tolliver recognized it and said, hey, why don't we be like Voltron, and with our powers combined, we can unite the indie community.
Exactly.
And I think this is a great story. To me, it's I find great, a lot of inspiration in, seeing individuals like you, who has a love for comics, a love for the indie community, and to create groups where people can come together. And then of course we've been trying to merge your group with ours, and Facebook, the Zuck kind of figured out ways to make it super difficult to merge our list, but it doesn't matter. We're your group still exists, but we're just sort of cross-pollinating each other.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's so good to hear. And we talked. You mentioned all these a really diverse titles that that you have that are part of About Time. Everything, like you said, from Godsend to that spy thriller. You mentioned the steampunk, and then of course Red Scare, which has been the most recent edition. But let's talk a little bit. We'll go deeper into Red Scare a little bit later. But I wanted to focus a little bit here on Godsend. And oh, look at this! It's zoomed into this section. Let's talk about this Godsend art. You sent me these 4. We mentioned Godsend the last time you were on here, but these 4 pieces of Godsend art are something that you felt strongly about. So let's talk a little bit about you assembling an art team. Finding artists, how you find the artists, and then I know you even I follow you on Facebook, and you mentioned that your little call to arms to get people to color color things. You like open,
Right.
you know, I just want to, let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about how you find a godsend artist, how you find a godsend colorist. You know, let's hear that, you know, part of the story.
When when Godsend started, it was a while back. It was around 2010. And now that I think about it, when we started putting everything together, and back then, back in the old timey days, people still use the message boards.
I'm feeling real old because I remember the message. I remember
Pencil jack.
I remember
digital webbing.
Remember news groups back when it was like, yeah, I'm feeling real old. Anyway, keep on going. Let's talk about the old time.
I had originally posted in these groups on digital webbing and pencil jack because Facebook really was around. But hey, there's my partner Eric.
Yep.
So Facebook wasn't that big as far as the art and comic stuff back then because it was still so new, I think. And so actually I had several responses, and I found Oski. And like I said, he is a storyboard artist, and you could just tell by looking at his storyboards that obviously he knew how to tell a story. And to me, that's a big thing, you know. I mean, so if they've already got that part of drawing comics down, then that's a huge step forward. You know, you don't have to worry about them screwing panels up and all that stuff. So, so yeah, he worked out. And the other thing, which I'm sure this is true for everybody or most everybody, but I like to work with people who I at least think are good people. And
that helps a lot.
Yeah, I don't think anybody that seeks out bad people. Hey, bad people, why don't you do some bad work for me and stuff like that?
But I've ran into a few over the years, but no, Oski's a great guy, so easy to work with, and just a great artist on top of that. So I thought that was a big step. And then I was contacted by Ken Hunt, who's done a cover for every issue of Godsend, and he wanted to do an issue cover for us. And it turned into him doing 6 covers for us. And he's worked for Marvel and DC, and he's done covers for Lady Death, for Brian Pulido, and he's done a lot of pro work, you know. And to have someone like that come forward and say, I want to draw your character.
Yeah, the one you sent us, that I think it's the third one you have right there.
The third one? Is it this one right here?
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah,
that one. That one's amazing. I love that one.
Yeah, I do too. That's definitely one of my
That's
favorites.
a great cover.
I think
you see that on the comic book shelves, and that's just gonna pop out. Everybody's gonna want to pick that one up.
I think that you surrounded yourself with really phenomenal talent. I had no idea that. I mean, he's worked for the big guys, the big Marvel and DC here. And we were doing the pre-show yesterday, and we won't even talk about like my technical difficulties from there. But yes, so we were looking at this artwork, and this is testament to Godsend. It's testament that it's a great character design. We talked about like silhouettes and really cool character design, and you can see that. And I think that's why you're able to attract top talent to work on your book here. And I'm looking at this stuff, and Vic and I are always like studying our favorite artists, and we couldn't help but look at like some of the influences in terms of Godsend, and why I think it resonates with a lot of people, because it does your artists have a style that's reminiscent of some of our faves, but it's definitely really, really unique to them as well. So it's enough that we can kind of see a style that's by a favorite artist, but it's enough also to be 100% them. And I see Silvestri, I see Capullo, but it's all 100% Godsend, and it's just so cool. And I think this is going to be a good time to actually go into our first drawing challenge, because our first live drawing challenge is going to be Godsend, and that'll give Lee a little bit of an opportunity to sell our guests on this incredible IP. If you could tell like maybe a little bit about his story. There's 6 issues that are out there. So by the end of the 15-minute first live drawing, everybody's going to have to go out and buy all 6 issues, because you're going to want
those 2 people that aren't sold on it yet. They're going to be sold.
I know, exactly. And I want everybody to check out Godsend, because we're going to get our art cams primed up, ready to go. But I would love anybody that's in our audience, just like you know, if you know the drill is basically just do some screen captures right now. I'm going to flip through these 4 covers, or these 4 art pieces that we got from Lee. Phenomenal artwork. And when we get to the live drawing part of it, you can use that as reference. And we encourage you to draw along with us, because we'll feature your artwork. You can share your artwork with the creator himself, Lee, and he can give
That would be awesome.
You can get his feedback, and we're also going to get to see Lee, do his own interpretation here of this phenomenal character. So there's this, and there's this one too, and I like this one because obviously it's a static image, but as you look at it, it's so dynamic. The colors are so rich, and you got these motion blur strokes that just totally animate it. It's like your mind fills in the blanks in terms of making it work. Just top level. This is indie work, but this is what I want to tell everybody. Indie work is pro work. Sometimes people think indie comics can't measure to like the big guys.
Yeah.
Live.
And let me give a shout out. This cover artist is Mark Marvita, and his brother Marvin colored it.
Okay.
Mark actually drew issue 2 of In Flight Service also.
Okay.
And the previous one is Sean Hill. He is an artist that I wanted to work with for a long time. And
big fan. Yeah. Big fan of his art.
So I was thrilled to get him to do the Godsend cover. So yes.
Yeah. So go ahead and give all the shout outs you want, because I think our audience wants to know not only how they can like and follow you, Lee, but like some of this phenomenal talent pool that you assembled. And you mentioned In Flight Service. I think you use the acronym IFS.
IFS,
that's his spy thriller, female protagonist. Another great comic. I think we're gonna have to. We don't have any pictures here to show, but when you like and follow Lee, when you go check out About Time Comics, you can look that up. It's another phenomenal title that I really think people should check out. Here's another cover. Do a screen capture of this.
That's Ken Hunt also I mentioned earlier.
Right. Let me zoom in here. So hopefully.
And John Urchek did the colors on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have such punch. They really like grab your attention.
They pop off everything pops on these covers.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not gonna miss these books if you see them. They're amazing.
I actually had
I love the colors in this one because
I had a couple of the foil covers done with that cover, and man, it really looked great. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I believe it. Totally believe it. And here's the last cover here. And I don't know. Did you want to talk about who these supporting characters are?
Yeah. The artist on this is Nitho Diaz.
A big fan of him too. God.
Yeah. He draws G.I. Joe for IDW. And again, I just saw his artwork and yeah. Had to have it, and colored by Godsend colorist is Brian Magnay. He's colored all but one issue of Godsend, so he actually colored that as well. So yeah, this is Godsend.
Eric said Ken almost scrapped this cover.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did, and he
we're glad he didn't either.
I think we're all thankful that he didn't scrap it. It's great. Lots of drama. And like I said, it's like when you look at all these covers, there's such a sense of movement. Static image, but it's so powerful. Definitely makes you think. This would be. I'm so serious. You could do the Godsend movie. I think that would work. That would work really well. A Godsend animated movie. I think that would. Yeah. I just think that looks so cool. All right, so hopefully our audience, if you did your screen captures of Godsend here, we were going to get ready to go into our live drawing thing, and I was going to give you a heads up, Lee. We're going to probably solo out your art cam the majority of the time because we want to see the magic that happen from a blank sheet of paper. You are doing it traditionally, and we'll kind of like rotate a little bit, showing our art cams. But we want to do that. And to our audience, if you want to draw along, just let us know in the comments field that you are, and then of course go to our sister page on Facebook, which is The Art Show, and post it there. And Vic, at the end of the 15-minute segment, we will show your artwork. And I'm actually gonna. This is one thing that I'm trying to be better about this year is time management. So I'm going to make sure that
we're setting the timer now. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to set a timer here so we can do that. And the only caveat is that if our guest wants to add extra time, hint, hint, then you definitely can do that, and we'll add some extra time. But it'll be, our audience, draw along with us. We encourage you to do that. We want to see some Godsend fan art, Lee Jiles fan art, and you get to hear it from the creator himself. Get some feedback in there. And Lee, like I said, I'm going to give you the opportunity to maybe fill in the blanks a little bit about Godsend, about maybe give a brief synopsis of the 6 issues without spoiling it. Think about how you can kind of whet the appetites, get people to take the plunge, go to About Time Comics and buy the 6 issues. So that being said, let me go ahead and get the art cams primed. I'm going to go ahead and add Lee's camera right here. And so let's start the drawing. The timer starts officially now. 15 minutes. Here we go. All right, Lee. So as we start drawing here, go ahead and let us know about. Let's start with the inspiration about Godsend. Go ahead and go from there.
Yeah, Godsend was my first, like I said, first creation really, and it was back during the big comic boom of the 90s. That's when everybody. I think that was when, even though that kind of killed the comics market for a while because there was so much garbage out there. I think at the same time it also let people.
Tell us how you really feel, Lee.
I think it also let people know that there was a desire for independent creations, Yes. And so I was inspired by the artwork, especially because even when the stories were really bad, some of the artwork was just unbelievable,
Mm-hmm.
And so that inspired me to create Godsend. And yes, there are several influences. Everybody always says Spawn is the first thing, and yes, even though Spawn is to an extent a big influence,
Mm-hmm.
It was more there again about the artwork, I think, than it was the story. Not that I didn't enjoy the story, but the artwork, Todd McFarlane's artwork, was really inspiring from Spider-Man till when he started Spawn. For me.
Right. So this is something
me too.
that
I feel the same way. Those are the guys that got me into comics. So
right.
When I saw your artwork, I was like, oh yeah, that especially this one, the one that we were showing, the one that we were saying looked like Silvestri and
Cocoon. Oh right, yep.
That one that one screams like early Spawn cover.
Yes.
So you're talking about in the 90s in terms of during that time period. So this character, it was an idea that was back in the 90s that just didn't come.
Yes. I actually it was 94, I think, when I actually created Godsend, and so yeah, it was around and had a lot of different iterations over the years before it got to where I really wanted it to be, I guess. And a lot of that was because just, you think differently, and, you read different stories and get inspired by different things. And, and then there's so much of me that is glad that I did not try and publish Godsend in 1994, because it would have been horrid.
Well, everything in its own time, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And you bring wisdom and experience to the table when it's time to actually get the word out and produce it. And of course, you mentioned also about all these phenomenal artists that have worked with you. You want to talk a little bit about, we can still talk more about Godsend, but let's talk also about how you find artists. I mean, is it something as simple as you reach out over social media, you see their artwork, and then you just talk to them, or is it just
that's been pretty much it since the days of the message boards that we talked about. Once Facebook with their groups really took off and everything, you start following artists, and there's just it's just so unbelievable how many talented artists are out there that are not working for Marvel or DC or something, because it's crazy. There's so much talent. But anyway, I would see artists that I really liked, and I would start following their work. And then when I was ready to to look for an artist to hire for a project, that's just where I would go. I would start, asking page rates and just going that route and luckily, I think, except for the one I told you about yesterday, where the artist was working on another project, pretty much every project, every artist worked out for the project that I wanted them for. So,
so what?
Man, you got really lucky because that doesn't happen for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, exactly.
It was destiny.
It was meant to be.
Either that or all the artists were God sent. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a bad joke. I know. I should be a dad and come up with bad dad jokes. So that's a little note in terms of like Lee's approach to like finding talent is that he just does it the old-fashioned way. He just reaches out to people over social media, and that is, I resisted joining Facebook for years. And when I finally did, it was solely just to follow artists that I like, or that I wanted to know more than just stuff that was like on their web pages, because they post stuff to Facebook, and I know that the Instagram and TikTok and all those other social media platforms, they're becoming more prolific, for getting that stuff. I think I'm, like you said, we're from the news group and the boards, we're from that old school generation. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It's social media. And I think you can reach out to people that you never thought you could possibly work for. And it never, sky's the limit, never hurts to ask. And if they love your work, they love your IP, they're going to want to do it. Exactly. All right. So we talked about that. That's, reach out to people if you want to, commission them or get them to work on your project. And, what's the worst thing? They can say no. I mean, that'd be it. But let's talk a little bit more about Godsend. This was something that you came up with in the 90s, sat in the back of your head on the drawing board, got refined a little bit more. And then of course, now we're 6 issues deep into it right now. Why don't you give a little bit of a broad view of what Godsend is about?
Okay. Godsend is the story of Austin Jackson, who is a young guy who was recently graduated college. He's about to leave his family's farm to go to the big city to start a new job. While he's on his way, on his trip to the big city, he runs into this strange man who hops in his truck with him, basically. And anyway, he leaves him in possession of a sword that, and that's where his journey begins. So he's in a new city, starting a new job, trying to get his life together. And now this guy's dropped this sword on him that, the first time he unsheaths it, he transforms into the Godsend character. And so now he's being, pursued by demons and the modern day incarnation of the Templar Knights, and a lot going on. He gets he becomes friends with a demon at some point who's trying to look for redemption. So the Templar Knights are trying to gather, kind of like they did back in the day, religious
artifacts
that they think have power. So the sword just happens to be one of those. And sorry, I'm terrible at trying to draw and talk.
It's no problem. You're doing great. Yeah, and it's interesting. So the Templars they're set up to be like the bad guys, though, right? They're not.
Yeah, well, yes, and of course, in their mind, they're not the bad guys. They're trying to save the world, and their point of view is that they're trying to save the world, and that's kind of what I've always said. And there again, I think this is kind of common sense, but the best villains are the ones who don't think they're the villains. They think their cause is just as the superhero.
Right.
And
they're the heroes in their own story, right?
Exactly. Yes. So to try and attract these weapons or these artifacts, they open a portal to hell, and so the demons begin to escape. And they thought they had it set up so the demons, they could control, that they wouldn't get out of hand, and needless to say, it gets out of hand. So,
of course,
well, they are demons, So
right? Yeah, they never quite operate on your timetable. It's
yes,
yeah.
But so yeah, that kind of gets the story going, and so Austin moves in with his two roommates, Clay and JT, who are friends of Austin's brother. They were in the Gulf War with Austin's brother, and there's part of the story even goes along with them with the origin of one of the swords, not Godsend's sword, but the kind of evil version of that sword.
Okay. So there's multiple artifacts that are swords that are in the story.
The demons even though we've only seen one, I'll kind of give this away. There are going to be more, but they're called the swordsmen, and they're like the generals kind of hell, and they're way more advanced than just the regular demons are. So they are the ones who make it hard on Godsend when he has to face them. So that's the story of the origin is, basically this portal from hell has opened up, and Austin finds that he's the guy that's going to have to try to close it, and making friends with a demon and actually one of the Templar Knights assassins along the way. They kind of all join forces to get the job done, kind of. And of course, he meets a girl, and you know how that goes. I mean, that could be good or bad. So,
I don't
want to give too much away about that, but
because the whole story could be very cliche, but then you throw in a girl into the whole thing, and that adds a whole nother level of intrigue and drama to it, right?
Yes.
So you're saying that Godsend is wrapping up his story arc? Is it going to be a 10-issue story arc, or is it
the 6 issues? The 6 issues that we have completed that's the completed origin.
Okay.
So we kind of have an idea about the next story arc. Peter and I have talked about it a little bit. We're still trying to decide exactly what we want to focus on with the next story arc. But yeah, I'd like to see Godsend as an ongoing series,
right?
But possibly just kind of like with the origin with 6 issues, but we'll probably focus on shorter story arcs, possibly even doing like single issue story arcs with like a 32 page instead of a 22 page, because it seems like that's the other thing with indie comics is, most of us can't afford to put a book out monthly. So people have very short attention spans, and when it's 6 months between issues or a year between issues, possibly, then you're kind of fighting a losing battle. And so if you can do a self-contained story, I think that would help. If they know that they're buying a complete story in one book, then that would kind of help with that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's one thing that I think indie comics has an uphill struggle with is, you basically have you don't have like an army, you're a team. Well, you actually found a way that you're assembling a team yourself, but it's sort of like if you were doing, like you said, if you were doing it by yourself, it would take a really long time, and you found a way to kind of delegate, still be the creator, but delegate some of that responsibility, and that's how you can get your 6 issues out there right now. So I think that's a nice strategy that you've developed in terms of making sure that as an indie creator, you get your stories out there without making your fans wait, like, more than years for a story to develop.
Right, and it's most of the people that I work with, they also have day jobs, so to speak, daytime jobs that pay the bills more than their art does at the moment, and So yeah, everybody's kind of working together to get it done, but it's but yeah, for it to ever be a monthly thing, that would be almost impossible for me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we get them done as soon as possible. So that's and that was what I had learned. Not to get off on a Red Scare, but you know, I think what we talked about yesterday a little bit. If you have your book completed, when you go into something like that, then the people who support your campaign are going to know, you know, they know they're getting the book.
Yes.
There's no question. It's like as soon as it is printed, they're going to get it. So.
Yeah, and I think when we'll talk, I guess, more about that in terms of like Red Scare and where that's at. But yeah, I totally agree with you. It's it allows people to know that they're not going to be waiting once the campaign is finished or anything like that. Is that it's you know, it's once it's fulfilled, we're ready to go. You're going to get the issue.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, so we're approaching. Oh, I just noticed we're like going to be finished soon. So do you need a little bit more time or because
No, I'm good.
off? Oh, you're good? Okay. Let me cancel this right now. I only got so far into it. I was enjoying listening to you talk, but I think I have enough just to show people where we're at. And I think that the important thing about let me stop this timer. It's still ringing. Is that you can go back and refine it. You know, you can go back and finish the artwork a little bit later on.
Right.
You know, show Lee what you were doing, and you know, maybe you could be featured in a fan art section of like the latest issue of Godsend.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we want to get that artwork to him so he can kind of check it out. All right. So pencils down. Vic, how are you? Are you ready to go? You ready to?
I'm yeah, as ready as I can be.
Yeah, me too. But all right. Oh gosh, I just looked up right now and I'm seeing what Lee did. Lee, you did a great. It's just I got to see some of.
I can't draw and talk. I didn't get as far as I wanted to get either. So
you got quite far here, and I'm always in awe when I have our guests in here, and you know, I got to see some of Lee's sketches for Red Scare, which we're going to share a little bit later on, and this is the magic. This is what I was telling you about. I love it when our guests come in here and there's a blank canvas and they do this. Can you do me a favor? Can you hold the artwork up to the camera and make it so it's not curved? Yeah, so that way people can see it straight on. Yeah, so check out this. Looks like he's got his arms all ready to go. So he's primed for a fight.
there you go.
Yeah. And yeah, this is great. Vic, did you check this out? You see it?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. That looks really cool.
All right, so let's go to. I'm going to isolate Vic's camera. So let's add this to the stream. So ready to check this out, Lee?
Yes.
Look at that.
That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool.
Vic is.
I started late too. Lee was talking and I found myself listening. Like, oh shoot! I should be drawing right now, shouldn't I?
Exactly. we got mesmerized. We wanted to hear more about the origins of Godsend, so I think we all got caught up in it. But yeah, phenomenal artwork, and you know, I think that's the thing about Vic is that he likes to do things with shadows, and
yes, I love that,
and he's totally able to capitalize on Godsend's the artwork that we showed here. It's all in the same mood and vein as some of that cover artwork that we saw. And look, he's even put in some textures. He has a leg up on us because he's doing digital. But you know, it's all about the talent though. He just knows how to use the tools better, you know, in that respect. But yeah, some really great artwork. And so Vic, do me a favor. I'm going to show mine real quick, and then if you could check the art show in the comment field and see if anybody drew along with us. So here's my chicken scratch Godsend. Oops, I have my speaker wire there. So I kind of want to do the one where he's like kind of like on a rooftop looking down.
Right.
But
I like it.
I'm looking forward to like adding some more detail in there too. But yeah, it's a great character. I want to like put the cape that's flowing in the background that looks like it's all like weathered. And I want to do all the wraps that are around his forearms and his legs because that's I think that's one of his signature. It's like Spawn's cape. His wraps are like the signature style for Godsend. So I almost think that they're like alive. They look like they're alive.
Yes.
So let me get this out there. So Vic, was anybody able to draw along with us? Or
no, we got a lot of people who are going to be coming in late.
Oh,
So,
okay.
we don't have any yet, but we got
Okay.
let's see, we got Marvin here saying great story and great character. I
Yes.
agree. Totally
Hey,
agree.
Marvin's another great guy. That's another proponent for indie comics. His comic, The Edge, is amazing, and he really helps out with the independents. Also, he's a great guy.
See, look at Lee. He's so humble. He's like his own show that we're trying to focus on him, and he's promoting other artists here. So that just goes to show Lee is one of those good guys that he was talking about. You know, finding those good guys that are out there in the indie comic community. But we also, I think, let's see. Yeah, so basically, if you're in our audience and you saw the Godsend artwork and you want to draw along with us, you don't have to do it just now. You can do that a little later on. But we're going to move to our next live drawing challenge, which is affectionately known as the co-host challenge. And today we are, my co-host is Vic. So he debuted this challenge last week when we had another guest, and I think it's going to be really cool to see how this kind of evolves and how it grows. So Vic, I'm going to let you take this part over and kind of like maybe lead in terms of like, questioning Lee as we go through this live challenge. But I want you to kind of illustrate in terms of what the parameters are for this, talk about it, and let our audience know. And
what's the name of the challenge again, Jerome?
I drew. Okay, it's called, because I wanted to say I draw the line or we draw the line, or it's something with a line in it, but I think it's officially called Draw the Line.
Draw the line. There it is.
Draw the line. Vic was testing me. He was testing me. All right, so Vic, tell us about Draw the Line.
All right, Draw the Line is our new challenge, where what we do is we just draw a scribble, any little scribble, and everybody that's watching can tune in and look at let's see, I'll bring it up right now. This is our page. This is the scribble for today.
Oh my God.
So if you guys are drawing traditionally, copy this line, and you're going to create whatever you want out of it. But because we have Lee Jiles on today, and he's going to be talking about his book Red Scare in a minute, we want to see if you can create some kind of zombie or anything horror out of this scribble. So you're going to have to use your creativity. Copy this line down and create something out of it, and then we're going to see, what everyone comes up with. If you're drawing along with us, make sure you let us know that you're drawing along, and then when the challenge is over, post it to the art show page so that way we could share it with everybody. But we're going to challenge everybody right now.
Okay, go ahead and put that line. Scribble. Put that line up one more time so we can. So everybody, you said you posted this to the art show already? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's already on the art show. Let me get back to it over here real quick.
Yeah, because I need to. For those of us who are traditional, we need to draw. At least get close to what that line looks like, and and because I had to and then draw around it. Okay. So can you populate it one more time, Vic? Let's
sure
before we start the clock, I want everybody to look at it one more time.
There we go.
All right, there it is. Okay, let me sketch it real quick. And it doesn't have to be exact for us traditionals, because we have to kind of look at it and just kind of exaggerate it. And this will be a tease. It's a good tease to talk about Red Scare, because there is a zombie element to it. So if you read our little tease about Lee coming on our show, it's a post-apocalyptic zombie-infested America. So I've drawn it right now. Lee, did you get it? Okay,
I think so.
Okay,
close.
all right, okay. So so we're gonna probably, this will give us an opportunity to talk about Red Scare twice.
Awesome.
So let's how about this? Let's talk about the setting of it. The post-apocalyptic zombie-infested America. Let's just talk about that setting first, because when we go to the third live drawing challenge, it's going to be delving into the characters. So does it sound good to you, Lee? You want to talk a little bit about that setting? And I got the clock ready to go. So 15 minutes. Again, if you're in our audience, wants to draw along, you saw the scribble. The digital, if you want to go to our art show page, you can download the actual scribble and digitally draw over it. But yeah, this is going to be a fun challenge. And the challenge was take this line and do your best zombie or interpretation from it. And Vic, can you rotate it? Can you turn it around as long as the line is there, right? Does it have to be right?
Yeah, as long as the line's there, you could rotate it however you want.
Okay.
You know, we just want the line in there somewhere.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So use your creativity. You know, whatever you want to create. Remember, it's a family show.
Yes.
So,
That's right. There's the only limitation. It is a family.
You
show.
shouldn't have made such an erotic line. You know?
You know what? I didn't even see it until. Okay, I'm gonna stop it. We're just gonna stop it right there. We're gonna nip that in the bud. All right. So you saw what it looked like. I'm starting the clock right now. And Vic, I'm gonna hand over the interviewing chores. I'm gonna let you kind of like talk to Lee about like the setting. Go from there. It's up to you.
Yeah. Oh, well. So you have a zombie book. What I was curious is, you know, in a time like right now, there's been so many, you know, different. Everybody's doing zombies and things like that. If you could tell everyone like what makes yours different, because like we were lucky enough to read it yesterday. I know me and Jarrell, you had sent us a copy of it, so we were lucky enough to read it. But if you could let everyone out there know how you stand apart from all the other books that are out there.
Well, I guess it's like with a lot of other creators, you try to do something different with the zombie. So we have done that. I don't want to give too much away because even the first issue, we don't get a whole lot into that.
Yeah.
But like with any good story, I think it's the zombies are there, but the main characters are our, you know, Anatoly and Nadia, and it's about what happens to them within this world that's overrun by these zombies, and the United States that's been pretty much taken over by Russia, and that's, to me, that's what makes for a good story. It's about, if you have good characters who are interesting, then that's what people are going to want to, you know, that's going to be the focus, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And people are going to want to pick up this book. I know. I got to the end of it, and I was like, "That's where it ends." Like, where's issue 2? Where's issue 2? I need it right now.
That's why you got to support the Kickstarter. So there'll be issue 2. They're going to be there. And I love that statement that you made, Lee, that with most zombie books or whatever, it's the zombies are just the backdrop, right? That's just it's about those relationships, it's about those circumstances, it's about those adventures or misadventures or things that you can talk about outside beyond the zombie thing. It's like the zombies are just a backdrop for the narrative.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack the questioning there. Go for it, Vic. It's up to you. Keep on going. That was a great line of questioning. Go ahead. Keep on going.
Well, what you went from Godsend, like this awesome superhero story to something a lot darker. What drew you to that, to the horror?
I think probably because I've been working on Godsend since 1994, really, but seriously since 2010. When we started working on Godsend, and it was we were just so into it, getting through that 6 issues. To get to where the origin was finished, and I was ready to do something different. I had this idea, and I talked to Scott Wilkie about it. And this was actually 3 years ago when we came up with the main story for Red Scare. But I was really looking to do something different. And, back around this time, there was a lot of talk about Russia going on. And I felt like with the way things were in the United States at the time, everybody was so divided, and all this talk about Russia and stuff, that, man, what a perfect time for this country to be invaded, and so that's kind of where it came from, is that was where the story came from. And, yes, doing another zombie book when there are so many out there, you have to do something definitely to make it a little different, and I think we've kind of done that with what we did with the zombies. And Scott, there again, his writing is just amazing, and the stuff that he came up with and added to what I had was just really, really good. And I'm excited I think that's one of my problems with when I do a story is I like to start from the very beginning and not just be like in the middle of the action and go back and tell the story. So it takes a little bit longer to get into it, but at the same time, you get to have all these great cliffhangers and, people want to learn more about your characters and that stuff as they're going along. For me, I don't like seeing a superhero type character that is, kicking butt on his very first issue. I want to see him get knocked down and learn how to use his powers and that stuff. That's what I like to see. So I guess that's why I do it more that way.
Yeah, that's a good approach. And I think sometimes writers they use the flashback as kind of like maybe a crutch. They can say, oh, we can just sort of like fill in the blanks a little later on.
Yeah, we could start with action and then go back and show them where they started.
Yeah. I'm
fine with that.
I've seen some really good books that were done that way, but for me, I just like to. I guess that's because that's the way I think. It's like, okay, this has to happen first, and then we'll get to that part later on,
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and that's the benefit of being the creator, right? You can do whatever you want in terms of like,
And I totally agree with you. I was the guy when I started out. All I was drawing was superheroes, and I still draw a lot of superheroes. But once it came time to like, what am I going to do? Like, what do I want to do for myself? I gravitated more towards the horror genre, which is weird because, I'm not a horror guy. Like, it was just funny, like all of a sudden drawing all these monsters and stuff like that. And then you put on a horror movie and I'm like, this is too scary for me. I can't watch this. But yeah, once I start drawing the horror stuff, I'm like, oh, I like this. This looks scary. I wouldn't want to see it on the big screen, but it looks scary.
I can tell you too, is like as there's lots of zombie stories out there. I don't actually draw zombies myself. So it's kind of like, this is kind of a new experience for me to like, really draw like desiccated forms and stuff like that. But I think that just goes to show you about Lee. When you go to About Time Comics, you can kind of see that there's so many different genres that he's we're talking about the stable of talent that he has, as well as the variety of books that he has. He doesn't rest on any particular genre. You're exploring all sorts of different things. And it's funny that you mentioned the whole Russia thing. I mean, that's kind of like, that's actually relevant today. We see what's coming up in the news. It's like, I think this will be even more reason to go buy this book. Not that there's zombies in the Ukraine, but yes, yeah. I don't know what this false flag is that's going to happen in Russia, but maybe there's a zombie infestation and Lee got the inside scoop on it, and that's what's going to happen. Is Lee has his book ready to go because he has a story to go along with what's going to happen there. I hope that's not going to happen there. But
damn it, Lee! I know. Coming and didn't tell us.
It's like Putin's going, Lee, that was supposed to be a secret. Why are you letting everybody know?
And that's why you have to buy his. That's why you have to go to his Kickstarter and sign up for everything he does, so that way you'll be safe when all this happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and maybe there are some survival tips in there. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and if you want to know the playbook, you got to read the book. Who knows? The Pentagon needs to read, or the playbook in terms of what's going to happen. But
so like this guy looks like what's his name, Anatoly. Go follow him. He looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got to save that Anatoly. Oh, I just realized somebody asked how much time we had. We're going to do 15 minutes for it, and right now we're at the 6-minute mark. So tighten up those lines, get some stuff in there so we can make sure that we can see what you're doing. And again, let us know in the comment field if you're drawing along with us. I'm going to, so let us know that you're going to draw along with us, and then of course share your artwork to our sister page, The Art Show, and be nice to see what people's zombies look like. So is it like a secret in terms of like what caused the zombie outbreak? Is it like you had to keep on reading the book, or is it very obvious at the very beginning, like when you get an issue?
I don't think it's very obvious, but that was part of the I'll give this part away. There's it's part of the Russians' plan was when they invaded was their soldiers had been infected, so that when they were killed, basically we would have to kill them again. So yeah, you kill the soldiers and you leave, and you never know they're behind you, or you come back through there and you've got zombies.
That is brilliant. So it's like Army of Darkness. Like you got a zombie horde that's undead, and so the Russians found out a way to control the zombies. Or if that's a I don't want to keep on going down there.
Yeah, you got to read the book.
Got to read the book. Exactly.
That's right.
Oops. So I caught myself. Don't listen to Gerald. Yeah, that's an intriguing premise.
Overall, though, no is the question. The answer to that question is really no. Maybe to an extent, but overall, not really.
Okay. Gotta read the book.
Right.
All right, so we got a 4.5 minute warning right now. What I'm going to do, Lee, is I'm going to solo your cam and for the last 4 minutes, and we can.
Okay.
All right, no pressure. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm not gonna look. Yeah. All right, Vic. Do you have any other burning questions that you want to ask him about?
Oh man.
Did I put you on the spot?
I'm gonna have to step it up. No, I saw his artwork. I'm like, let me step it up.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's set in the near future, and actually, the first issue actually takes place a few years after the war is over with. So we won't actually see the war. We have some kind of a little flashback set up to deal with that part of it, so people know what's going on. But yeah, so we're not going to actually see any of the war. We're just going to see the results of what happened during the war. So,
so does it? I think maybe you touched upon it in the book, but like how long has it been going on? Is it something new? Is it? I know from what we read. Are you going to touch upon the beginning? Are you going to do the flashback? Or are you going to just?
We will. There are things that we'll have to kind of flash back on to cover later on, to kind of just the character stuff mostly, and to kind of to show how the zombie stuff happened and all that in Russia, I suppose. But yeah, there won't be a lot of flashbacks as far as the actual war part of it. I don't think. I think we're going to we'll do little things to, so it's obvious, I think, at this point, once they read the book, that what has happened,
Oh yeah.
And the first issue does have a little setup at the very first page. I can't remember if that page was in the PDF that I sent you guys or not. I don't think it was. But there's a little first page that we did that's got some information that'll kind of set up what's going on and everything.
Okay. I tell you, I'm having a little fun with this zombie stuff. It's like I get to add spittle and flesh hanging off and stuff like that.
Stuff you're not used to doing.
I know.
No, I'll admit I like drawing zombies now, so I was like, this is fun. That's why when we got the book, I was like, oh yeah, I like this. This is exactly what I like right here.
He's like, yeah, I get to do my own. I can do the drawing challenge all day long because I can make it zombies.
I'm not a very. I like my own story, but I'm not very good at drawing zombies. So it's
Yeah, me too. I don't know. My zombie might end up just looking like a ghoul or something like that. But anyway, it's fun. All right. So right now we're approaching the last 30 seconds. So let's wrap this up. Unless Lee, unless you want to add extra time, I'll leave it up to you.
Fine. I'm good.
Okay, so we're approaching the last 30 seconds. I'm just
Don't forget, if you're drawing with us, make sure you post it on the art page so we can show it right now.
Yep. I'm just sort of like darkening some lines in here and getting it so people can kind of see what my chicken scratch looks like. And 20 seconds and counting. All right. 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and
pencils down.
Pencils down. All right. Let me turn off this timer here. Stop that. And I get to look up. Oh, I love how you handled that line. Okay, so Lee, do me a favor. Can you put that closer to the cam and make it so it's right on? Look how you used that line that you did. That looks great. So that indentation there, you made it so that his nose, that's where the nose used to be. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Did you see that?
I'm going to say, yeah, that's amazing. I'm going to say me and Lee had almost the exact same idea.
Oh, really?
Okay, I think we all did.
I'll bring up mine. Here's mine.
Oh, awesome. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so you guys think alike. And look at that.
Yeah, we had I saw him drawing it and I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to step it up now because we're doing almost the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, look at that zombie. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Right, let's bring up Gerald's there. Let's see.
Oh, okay. All right, here's my zombie. I made it so that it circled around his eye and then came back in here and then kind of cheek down where his tongue.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I made his cheekbone and his tongue.
Was good.
But yeah, I was trying to make it look like his jaw is falling off, but he has almost like a venom tongue. So I don't know.
Yeah, sure
it was fun. Nice to do some stuff here. So hopefully we get some other. I hope we got some audience participation in here.
I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go post it on there. We can share it with Lee later.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go through some of the comments here since we got here. So. We got, let me keep on going up here. Okay, so we have here, great story and character from Marvin Wynn. Let's see, we got here, Sarah says I returned midway in the first drawing session. Okay, so Sarah, hopefully you'll draw along with us. We got our guest from last week, Edgar, who's coming in here. The line is drawn. Yeah, so actually, is it the line is drawn or is it draw the line? Anyway, Edgar's there. So here we got Mr. and Mrs. Health and Beauty saying, dope work, fellas. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's see.
I know who that is. That's another one of my pals there, Braxton.
Okay. And I think, let's see, we got, not sure what this means. VORNGO. I'm not sure what that means.
I like the name too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe we need an acronym for something. We'll have to decipher that out. And here we got somebody, guys, I did a creepy pasta concept. Okay, well, Sarah, share that with us so we can see that. And we got here saying Charles McCormick, Van Rent. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay. And we got Sarah saying wow. And let's see, where was the last one? Sarah said, where do we post the drawing? Oh, John, you okay, post it to the art show and Vic will look out for it. And if you want to do it, we're going to go ahead and go into our last drawing challenge. We'll go into the last one. But if anybody in our audience wants to do Godsend, or they want to do this, draw the line challenge. You're definitely welcome. Yeah, draw the line challenge. You can definitely do that. We'll look for it in the art show, and we'll just feature it once we complete all these things. So let me get this off the screen. Let me remove this. Okay, we're
gonna have to do a big draw the line poster so we don't forget that name every week. We change it every week.
I'm gonna get it tattooed on my hand so that once in front of the art cam, I'll go, oh, that's what we call it. That's what we call it. All right, so we're gonna dig deeper into talking about Red Scare. But before we do that, let me share. Let me remove this from the screen. let's go back to those PDFs that we were looking at earlier. Show screen. Oops. And let's go back to window. All right. So add us to the stream. Okay. So we talked Godsend. I'm going to, we're gonna talk more about this, of course, after we do the live drawings. But for those of you who want to know, we're going to be doing Anatoly, and that's this particular character here. And screen capture this if you're going to draw along with us. I just want everybody to know that these are something that Lee and I talked about with Vic yesterday, is that Lee's a stickler for making sure that things kind of like if they're going to be based in today's world or in today's reality, even though it's in the not so distant future, then they have to look somewhat authentic. And, we're looking at like everything down to like the tactical gear that Anatoly is wearing, to like the weaponry. And he's not going to be carrying like an AR. He's going to be carrying like Russian style weapons as well. So note that. We're going to talk about the Anatoly look. I want to know about these scars. I want to know where they came from. These scars on him. And let me just go through here. Just going to touch on these because we'll talk about them as well. But this is Nadia, also a Red Scare character. And these were some of the concepts that I actually used for the banner art that's featured on Comics Cast. And they're just brilliant. I love these black and white illustrations. And I sort of had so much fun with them. I took this and I composited it with, some background from one of these other ones. I think, where's it at? It's right here. I use this background. So I was having so much fun because the art was just so phenomenal.
It looked great too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I was looking for it. Like, you posted it and you're like, here's the artwork. And I'm like, why didn't I get that one?
Where is it? But that's going to tell you is that I had so much fun because the art is that good. I want everybody to go get Red Scare because, these are teasers to what you can expect. And, after we do the live drawing challenge, we're going to look at the first 6 pages of the book and talk about the upcoming Kickstarter campaign. But for now, this is Anatoly. Do the screen capture of it and note his weaponry there. Note the scars, or either that or those are the coolest looking tattoos because they look like scars. I don't know. We're gonna hear the story. Well, hopefully, if they're not spoilers, we're gonna pick Lee's brain. He's gonna tell us a little bit about his character design. But yeah, okay. Screen capture there. I'm gonna get the clock. We're gonna have another 15 minutes. And you can draw Anatoly, or you can draw the line challenge, or you can do Godsend if you hadn't finished those up. But right now, this 15-minute challenge is going to be for Anatoly, and we're going to learn a little bit more about him as we draw. So that's the screen capture. We're going to get rid of this screen. Remove. All right. So the clock is ticking right now. And I'm going to let Vic ask the first question as we talk about drawing Anatoly.
So how much work went into doing all the research? Yesterday you were saying you wanted to make sure the guns were the right ones. You wanted to make sure they weren't using something that the Russian military wouldn't use. How much time did you spend doing all that?
Well, surprisingly, not a lot. I've been me and my best friend coming up were military guys, and especially him. So he kept me in line on all that stuff my whole life, and to this day he still does. So, we would watch movies and we would point out the inaccuracies and all that sort of thing. It's like, so yeah. I mean, it was as simple as a Google search for modern Russian military, and taking all those images and sending them to my artist, and telling them what I wanted. So that part was kind of easy.
So you can't watch a war movie, especially if it and go, that's totally not real. That's not how you would handle that. That's just
I don't let it get me to the point where I don't enjoy the movie, but I'll be like, hey man, that gun doesn't shoot that many times without reloading.
Exactly. I totally get that. I mean, I'm not in the military, but I definitely am familiar with certain weapons, and it's sort of that's totally unrealistic. They'd have to reload, and of course, it's now I'm a stickler for gun safety, and you want to make sure it's like that's totally not safe. Whatever.
Yeah, he's not using trigger discipline. Yeah.
Yeah, bad trigger discipline. And then of course, then I like watch Star Wars movies, and I'm like, man, stormtroopers. It's like where do they learn to shoot?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're like when musicians watch somebody playing an instrument, and you're like, that person's not even playing. What is that person doing?
Yeah.
Is there one that you're just like, this is the worst military movie I've ever seen?
I can't think of anything like right offhand. Like I said, it's usually just instances of things that you see, that don't add up. But
I just wanted to know so I could go watch it once we're done.
Yes, exactly.
I was watching a movie the other day, and I cannot for the life of me remember now what it was exactly. But I just remember the guy was shooting, and he just kept shooting and shooting. And I'm like, whoa, dude, you gotta at least show him change a magazine out every once in a while or something, But,
that's another thing too. It's like when they call magazine clips. Does that bother you?
Yeah.
That totally bothers me. It's like it's not a clip. It's a magazine. Yeah.
There's actually a zombie show on Netflix. Can't remember the name of it. They just had like a season 2 recently, but their like big climax of the show is like they have to run across this bridge with all these zombies coming after him, and the main character just has like a regular handgun. I don't know what they were holding, but they shoot like 30 to 40 bullets going across this bridge. And for me to catch it, I knew it was bad, so. I was like, I don't think that person's reloaded yet. I want to know what kind of gun they have.
No, but Anatoly is he is your soul. He is a soldier. He is, at least up to this point where he was labeled a traitor, possibly. He was all in for the Russians, and he did all sorts of dirty work over the years, and so that's why we made him like a little bit older and grizzled, and he's been through, all sorts of wars and done all sorts of things for these people that are now, turning against him. And
spoiler alert! Is that a spoiler?
Yeah, I gotta say his reveal in your book when he comes out is absolutely fantastic. I love that page. It is just amazing.
Vic doing his job, making sure that he puts everybody in suspense to find out what the twist is with Anatoly. Gotta go buy the book.
Oh no, yeah, I got to the end and I was like, oh come on.
That is great.
Where's two? I'll ask Lee when he comes on what happens next.
Yeah.
Off here, obviously.
So Lee, you want to talk a little bit about, because this is not something that just happened overnight. We talked a little bit about this. This was something that it's been in the back of your mind for what was it, 3 years? Like I know at least some of the art that we showed is 3 years old, right?
Yes, it was about 3 years ago, and like I said, I know my weaknesses when it comes to being a writer. So I loved what Scott Wilkie had done with Everett Forge, and he had done a couple other books, and just really, really good writer. And so I asked him if he'd be interested in, writing it, and he was, all on board, thank goodness. And but at the time he was working on, I think, issue 3 of Everett Forge, and I was still working on Godsend. And time and money are the two things that I never have enough of. So it just kept getting pushed back, and till it finally got to the point where Scott was freed up enough to get the script written, and then from there it just went with finding an artist. And like I had said, the original artist is named Gab Sarah. That's who I had wanted, because I loved his style with his black and white, kind of the same with Flavio that we went with. And he ended up being tied up on another project, and so I started looking some more, and then I saw Flavio's work, and I had remembered it once I saw it, and he had done a lot of horror type books, and it just really fit with what he was doing, and with his style fit this story. So, yeah, he was he was on board, and it just kind of took off from there. Like I said, we had a few little barriers, language barriers and stuff, but overall, just great guy to work with. Didn't mind if I needed him to make a change after he had done something or any of that kind of stuff. So it's.
You said he hails from Argentina. Is that correct?
I believe so. I meant to double check that. So if Flavio, if you're watching and I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Well, the art speaks for itself. It makes no difference what country he's from. It's a phenomenal artwork. You have such a great eye for talent too. I think that's a really, really good. You could be a talent scout. To make sure that you get the best people to work on your projects.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. For me, there's so much out there. I mean, there's so many talented people out there. It really makes it hard to pick people a lot of times, to work on projects. So,
So do you want to spoil, or has it been revealed about those scars on his face? Is that something that you want to save for later, or what?
No, I mean, really, there's there again. I just want him to look really grizzled, like he had been through it. No real story for the individual scars necessarily. Some of that could show up in some of the flashbacks possibly, but no real story for those in particular. Just kind of.
Just to show his experience, right?
Just to show that he's an experienced guy that's been there and seen a lot of stuff,
Right.
He's a guy that was, the leader of these people that have him in prison now, and so yeah.
Yeah,
go
ahead.
We really wanted him to look just to look tough and big, and the grizzly beard, and like he could wrestle a bear or something, if he needed to.
Yeah, definitely captured that. Yeah. All right. Okay, just to give you guys a heads up, we're at the 5.5 minute mark, and if you didn't know Lee, I kind of soloed you out right now. So every now and then, just kind of I know that we set the cam up on the right-hand side. So just every now and then, just sort of move your hand, and you can let people see what you're doing.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I'm resisting the urge to look and see your artwork. We're going to definitely show some of your other sketches. Like when we finish this one, we're going to show some of your sketches that you gave. You basically was your art direction to show Flavio in terms of how you wanted Anatoly to look and some of the other characters. We'll dig deeper in terms of who these people are, where they're come from, their motivations and things like that. Once we finish these live drawings.
Now I know. We'll touch on this again a little bit later, but how are you going to be putting the book out there? But when is your campaign and everything going to be going live, or where are you going to be doing it at, so everybody knows?
Yeah, we're looking at it will be back on Kickstarter, and February or March. I'm not sure. We were looking at February to begin with, but now I'm not sure if we shouldn't wait till March. But yes, I learned a lot from definitely learned a lot from the first Kickstarter. So hopefully that'll help us with this second campaign.
Yeah, lessons learned, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in terms of some of those lessons learned. I really was surprised. I was like, wow, why didn't this get funded? And I really think it was fate. It's so that this next outing can be even bigger and better. It's going to be that good.
I will go along with that. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. All right, so we're at a 3.5 minute mark, and I'm trying to darken up my lines because I see that you guys do so much more polished, finished art, and here I am with just like my chicken scratch. So trying to step it up here a little bit. So I know that we're not going to be able to go into some of the other characters. I when I did the write up for it, you mentioned that Anatoly, the description in the Kickstarter page was it was about a ex-Russian military and a prisoner of war.
Right.
You want to talk a little bit about that character who's the prisoner of war? Of course, not spoiling anything, but just sort of like
right. Well, Nadia is the character. She's basically the Russians have taken over these towns, and basically the people are kind of free to roam around in there, but they can't leave. So she and her dog Argos are looking to get out of there. She has her reasons that I can't really go into, but other than just being a prisoner of war, can't
yeah.
But there's a reason that she wants to go out into the zombie infested world, and that would be the one thing advantage they would have to being locked into these towns would be that no zombies inside the gate. So
right.
They're protected, but they're also prisoners at the same time.
So the real reason why you should buy the book is you need to find out about that dog.
Yes, everybody needs to find out about Argos.
Right, it's all about Argos. Find out.
Hey, he has a story too, so you just wait. You'll be surprised.
Oh, I was serious. It's yeah. You gotta find out about Argos. Yeah. All right, we're coming up on the final minute.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Where's my? No.
All right, I hope we got some audience participation around, and even if people don't get to finish their drawing, they can always post it to the art show after the show as well, and we'll definitely highlight it, and I'll let Lee know where that artwork is so that he can look at it and make sure that he can give his feedback on it, because definitely
that is something that I love is on Facebook or wherever, Instagram, whatever, when I get a surprise fan art from somebody, because I'm like, man, this person, thought enough of my creation that they took some time out to do a sketch or a drawing, and some of them are really, really, really good. So
that has to be something really satisfying when people feel like they want to like contribute to something that you came up with.
Yeah, that'll make your day when that happens for real. So yeah, I'm always happy to see fan art, and when we do, and we have put fan art into the books before. That's something I like to do. If somebody's going to take the time to do that for me, then
you can hear it. The time has expired, so pencils down. All right. Look at this. Okay, so Lee, you are soloed right now. So you want to go ahead and bring your picture up closer to it. Now, I got to see some of Lee's concept artwork, and we're going to show that again at not after we finish these live drawings. But yeah, you can tell that Anatoly, it's like no one knows the lines of his face in terms of like his grizzled, battle damaged look better than Lee. And it's gonna. I'm looking forward to seeing where he's gonna take this character. But excellent work, talented illustrator in his own right, and we got to see that. So I'm going to solo out Vic. And we're gonna check out his. Let's see, add that to the stream. Check that out. Oh,
very cool.
Can you zoom in a little bit? Let's see those intricate details in his face.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Very, very neat.
He's a cool character. He's a cool looking character. Like I said, when he comes out in the book, I won't say where. When he comes out in the book, I was just like, oh, I love this.
Plot twist. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to show mine real quick, and then let actually, I need to add my cam. Vic, if you want to check the art show and the comment field, and hopefully somebody else, drew along with us, let me get my art cam up so I can share that. And I want to hear what Lee has to think.
Oh, that's awesome.
I kind of went for like this. I hope I didn't make his head look too big, but I really wanted to show those scars.
That's awesome. I love it.
And make him look like, hey, don't mess with me.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was a good treat to come into this, and like Vic, we want people to go buy this book because there's that twist that Vic is talking about, and you won't know until you buy the book. And let's talk a little bit about that. Vic, did anybody?
Oh, we got a couple. We
did.
Here.
Good. I'll let you.
Let me show Sarah's here.
Here we go.
Very cool.
Good job, Sarah.
Sarah did this one. Very awesome.
Good job.
Let's see. We also had. Let's see here. Let's go through. Victor Rufino.
Vic.
Nice.
Just want to let you know, Vic stayed up really late. He's in the Philippines, so right now it's 2:40 here. I think it's 3:40 in the morning.
Wow.
So Vic, thanks for staying up and drawing along with it. That looks great.
We have a couple. Look at this is from The Line is Drawn.
Nice.
Oh shoot! Who did that one?
John did this one.
Odinger.
That's cool.
I'm so used to seeing John's Duyors, which are so happy, characters with children's book type stuff. And then you see this. John, it's a side of you I didn't know. Very cool.
Victor also did Godzilla.
Cool. That's nice.
Lee, are you loving this fan art? This is
awesome.
It's
awesome.
Oh, Victor's amazing.
Yeah, talented artist in his own right. Thanks, Vic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sarah.
We also got Sarah.
John. Another one. Oh, that's cool. How she?
I actually thought about making that into some sort of weapon as well. That's awesome.
Oh, so good. I love this challenge, Vic. It's allowing a lot of creativity.
I think that's the last one right there.
That's the last one. Okay.
Cool.
Well, I want to encourage anybody who didn't draw along with us right now for the live one. They can still do it. If you watch the show, you can see what that draw the line. What the draw the line was. You can do that. You can add to it. Because I think Vic actually wasn't on the show live drawing last week, but he went ahead and just did it, after the show. And so I encourage be like Vic. Draw along afterwards, and then post it to the art show page, and whoever our guest is, they can check it out later on. So we do appreciate it. This is such a cool character. So let's we're gonna round out the show talking a little bit more about the campaign and about these characters. So let me stop screen. I'm gonna share the PDF again. So let me go back to that, and I'm going to. Lee, I was going to say, phenomenal artwork. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so let's show this back. So add to the stream. All right. So let's talk a little bit more Red Scare, because I want everybody to know what they can expect. This campaign is going to relaunch. It's going to in February, March, leaning more towards March, because I think Lee's going to be refining his Kickstarter page, and we're going to work the social media algorithms to make sure that we get as many eyes on it as possible. Frankly, I don't understand why it didn't get funded. I was looking at it and I was like, you had 85 backers, and it was you can see from this PDF art, just a phenomenal artwork. So this was, let me go here. This was Anatoly. This is Nadia. This is Argos. Who's going to have a story of his own, with this costume. He's like a superhero himself. He's like Battle Dog, I think that's pretty awesome. Who knows what this character could be? Hint, this could be something happen up later on. But here we go. We're talking about, these are things, and we're looking at this stuff, and you were talking about, I guess, the original campaign was going to be black and white with accents of red, right? That was the initial look. You want to talk a little bit about your intention, because that was 100% intentional. It wasn't like, I don't want to do color. No, it was because you actually had that in mind. You want to mention that or talk about that?
Yeah, we that was something that Scott and I had talked about. I had talked about it just being black and white because the original artist that I wanted to use, he was the same. His style looked really, really good, black and white. And then especially once we got Flavio, I was like, wow, this, for this gritty, zombie story, his artwork doesn't need color to me. And then Scott actually had the idea of making the blood red. And I thought that's even better, to give a little Frank Miller twist in there, kind of.
Yes.
Which is funny because since then I've seen several people doing the exact same thing. So I guess other folks had the same idea, but a lot of people, it's like we talked about yesterday, a lot of people just, for whatever reason, don't like black and white books, And for me, like with this art style, if it's black and white, I love it. For like a superhero book that doesn't have a lot of detail and stuff, I don't like that in black and white. That needs to be in color to me. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm not saying that the black and white it was a reason we weren't funded. But I thought, why not, offer two options because Flavio's colors, I've seen them on a lot of his other work and they really fit. They're kind of a muted color and they just look really good with his art style. So, and it fits with the zombie storyline. It's kind of bleak and dark and
yes.
So this next Kickstarter, you can choose the black and white, or you can have the full color if that's if that's what you want. So there you go.
You turn that negative into a positive, and that's what's awesome.
Right. I like that idea because you're going to be doing this again, and if that was some degree of hesitation for any backer, you don't have an excuse anymore. It's because we're gonna have a color version and a black and white version, and I wanted to show these back to back because it's just like Lee said. I think this is punchy already as it is. To get this high contrast here with the deep shadows, black and white, and even if you were to color like this, this radioactive hazard screen, or maybe make that red, or even the American flag, because I got aside from the Frank Miller vibe, it was also to me. I like to think cinematography, cinematic wise, and one of the movies, for obvious reasons, Schindler's List stood out in my mind too. Very impactful, it's a very hard movie, difficult, tackling very strong subjects. But I remember watching that movie, black and white, 100% intentional, what Steven Spielberg was going to do. But then he'd have red, nice. There'd be things that he'd draw your attention to with an object or a character, piece of clothing that would be red, and it would just make such an impact on you. And I think that's kind of what you were doing with this too, with the black and white and having that. But then you look at the color, and you're so right. The art style complements color. You have no excuse. Our audience has no excuse to if you're going to get a good story, it's going to be a good story in black or white.
That's right.
And, not both. Black or white.
Get both.
Black
both
and white
amazing.
And color. Yes, there you go.
Yeah, get both. Both of them are amazing. You can see what we're talking about. So, I mean, the colors are amazing. The black and white is amazing.
I
say get both.
The letters.
See which one you like more. Get both.
I'm sorry, Lee, what were you saying?
I was just going to say it's missing the lettering on the color pages. We don't have it on there yet, but Dave Lentz is our letterer, and he does an amazing job as well. He's a really good letterer,
and I think
I was glad to get him on board too.
And we have seen the lettering with the black and white comic already. So, but I wanted to show, you showed me these, and they don't have the lettering yet, but just like with, not to take away from letterers, because letterers, as they add another level to it, to make it, tell that story. But when you look at artwork too, sequential story, sequential pages with panels and things like that, if there is no lettering, if there's no dialogue, you can see the true talent of the sequential artist that's working on this and able to tell a story without actually having to have the words in there. And this is what I want to show here. There's nothing here, but there's no words yet, but you can follow along 100%. And the mood, the atmosphere that's being created. But you mentioned the colors, how Flavio did the penciling, the inking, and he did the coloring too, right?
Yes.
Yes. man of many talents. I have to say,
Yes, he is.
you have a tremendous eye for the talent. Here we go from like, look at this. Okay, we have this bleak. It's snowy. You get this, it's this great establishing shot, and then you have like, you could just tell like, this horde. I mean, you have the zombies that are getting ready to attack, but then you go from this. Look at the mood change just by the color choices, here. Yeah, it's powerful, and one of my favorite ones here. Okay, well, this is cool. I love this worm's eye view. The low, you get that sense of dread. You got this zombie who's crawling on the ground, can't be stopped. He's coming for you. And then you have the guys in the truck he's like, it's nothing. I'm in the truck,
Yeah.
And then Naughtie's like, oh, come on. Can you just drive? Can you just get us out of here? But one of the most powerful pages that I really thought was colored well, that just really made me think this could be a movie, was this one. You get this zoomed out shot where it's from the other end of the hallway, and then you have the light. You have these characters who are like exploring this this environment, and I just like how the light just comes across this dead body. And
yes, that might be one of the panels that I actually like better in color than in black and white, because I loved it in black and white, but once I saw this, I was like, wow, that looks
You're so right. It adds a different level of because I do love color theory. I think color really can impact you emotionally, but black and white, the absence of color, can also do that as well. But this particular one with the lighting, how the lighting can add that added sense of dread, or they're exploring, and who knows what's behind that door. So yeah,
this is the part in the movie when you're going, don't go in there. Why are you going in there? Don't go in there.
It's like, yeah, can't you hear the music? The music has changed. There's something good that's gonna happen. It's like yeah, the soundtrack is such a big thing, and it's like, like Jason. It's like, it's like, can't you hear can't you hear that? But here, it's like I get such seeing these pictures with the colors. It really brings it out. And I hinted about this, and let's look at like what Lee has done here. This is more of Lee's art, and this, as a creator, as a co-writer, is like talking with I believe you said his name was Wilkie, Scott Wilkie. He's your the writer. You're the creator, but you guys talk about it, and you did all this artwork here. And I wanted to showcase this because talented artist in his own right, as well as a creator. He's Lee's the brain, he's the brains behind it, and then he just gets it refined with the writing. But look at these character designs. They have an emotional draw to it too. I love her eyes. You're able to capture. I can't even put my finger on it. Vic, maybe you can tell me what you think about it. But it's her eyes. Something about her eyes that tell a story.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion in there. You could tell. Yeah. You could tell she's struggling. She's in pain. She's been through a lot. Mm-hmm. You could see it right there. He made the artist's job easy that I have to draw it for the whole book. He made their job easy. Like he showed them exactly what the character should look like. It wasn't like it wasn't a stick figure, and you're like, that's how she should look.
Well, you know what? Lee can do stick figures. If you look here in the background, he can do that.
You see those stick figures up here. I should have sent you those. Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, I was going to say that Lee does the very best stick figures as well. But here we go, and now here we have an accurate firearm as well with a suppressor or a silencer. And again, Lee's art is it's powerful enough that it in terms of like giving really good art direction. You can really see, he gets the costuming down, firearms, making sure that it's accurate. And then, it's not a superhero comic. So I think that Lee's done a really good job of like, we're used to drawing, comic book heroes where you can see every muscle, sinew, and popping out vein, and like everything is skin tight and spandex and painted on, but here, these are costumes. Like, not only that, we talked about it being post-apocalyptic America. It's like snowing in these things. So no one's going to be trotting around in spandex, they're going to be wearing winter coats and scarves and things like that.
Or we don't know. We haven't seen issue 2 yet.
Oh, that's true. Maybe. But okay, this one, I had to say, this was really neat because what I liked about this, these are like I was thinking these are like zombie soldiers, but you don't have to go into like showing like all the flesh hanging off the bones like that. It's enough to like kind of silo them out, give them those striking like dead eyes, and then the mouth like they're gonna come up, bite you type things. I thought this was brilliant. I've never seen a zombie kind of like kind of done like that. And you got to find out about these zombie soldiers. Got to like find out how the Russians have kind of worked this into their whole attack plan.
Yes.
Here we go. We get another Anatoly, and this to me is like you really project the strength. You mentioned to him like he's like a ferocious bear, Russian bear, and this to me has like a comic, more of a the comic that had a realistic vibe, but this is like if you wanted to do a more, there's a Red Scare like maybe animated series, maybe this could have been that for it as well. Yeah, I got Saeed saying, yeah, we agree, 100%, nice. It's more like nice, really really cool stuff. All right. And then here we have this, and I love how you've logo designs and like typography, and again, accurate AK style weapon, which you would definitely see in the Russian military. But yeah, and I can't help when I look at Nadia in this, she looks younger than the Nadia that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
I was getting a kind of a Last of Us kind of vibe to it as well.
Right.
But
yeah, that was early on, which I knew I wanted her to be older, but yeah, she definitely looks younger in that particular drawing. But yeah, she has to look a little older, and she has to look there again like she's been through it. I mean, you don't want to have girls that look like women who look like they're wearing makeup and
yes.
This is post-apocalyptic. You're surviving. With your dog in a rat hole apartment. In a Russian-controlled city. So yeah,
she's not going to be walking around in stilettos, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Stiletto combat boots or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, this is like I wanted to show this because this showed kind of like the evolutionary process. This was something that has been in the back of your mind. It's been a up to 3-year process. I think maybe you thought about this sooner, but it's something that you didn't come to lightly. It's been kind of like quietly gestating in the back of your mind, and you can see how the characters, as you thought of the story, initially being very younger to being older here. And like I said, I come back to this one because your illustration here, it's something about her eyes, and then with her mouth kind of open, it's like you can almost hear what she's ready to share, like some sort of tragic tale, in terms of like what she's experienced. But it's you're able to capture that beautifully. All right, so this is one thing I want. If this didn't sell you on it, I'm gonna show 6 pages of the black and white comic, and we showed the color, but I'm gonna show this. So this is another talented artist that you got to do this variant cover. Who did this cover?
That's Gabriel Serra. Gab Serra is what he goes by. But yeah, he was my first choice for artist, and like I said, he was tied up on another project at the time, and but I was happy I at least got him to do a cover. So
yeah, it looks great, and but it has a different feel to it. I think now that I've seen the sequentials, I think it's nice. It's a different style, and it'd be interesting to see where he would have taken it. But
yes,
I'm 100% bought in to like the way that it looks now.
Yes, and me too. Yeah, like you were saying yesterday, that sometimes things are just, they happen for a reason, and maybe that was it, because as good as I think Gab would have done, I think Flavio's artwork is just, I don't know, I don't think there's a better fit possibly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't help but think about if you're fans of another zombie comic book that you might have heard of, The Walking Dead. If you read the first few issues, it was a totally different artist, and I can't remember what Kirkman said in terms of why that artist had to leave, and there was another artist, and that new artist just totally owned it, embraced it. It was a totally different look, and that's what we've known The Walking Dead to be, that comic book style. But here I see this works. It would have been interesting to see, but I'm 100% built, buying into the whole new look. And I just wanted to look here, the cover by some dude. I thought that was,
that's the best.
Hilarious. And that's the reason why I wanted you to clarify that, because I know
that was Well, yeah, I don't think I had given him. I think he went ahead and Dave went ahead and did all that before I had to send him the cover artist, and so he had it put together and ready. So he just put some dude on there. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay, I thought it was kind of like what was the Jeff Bridges character in The Big Lebowski?
Oh yeah.
He was just known as the dude, and I was thinking, so is your cover artist? Is he known as just some dude? And I thought that was like some sort of inside joke. So that's why I wanted you to like clarify if that artist was, if he has like his pen name was called some dude. But now that's a little funny little tidbit you can kind of like only on Comics Cast can you learn that little bit of trivia.
Exactly.
But yeah, this is the talented team behind the book. So we're gonna go just show the first few pages that they were actually featured on the Kickstarter page.
Right.
And they're going to be on the new Kickstarter page. But this is what I wanted to share with you because to me, it's 100. Learning from Lee, it's 100% intentional that this was black and white. But you're going to have the option now to like pick the black and white copy or the color version.
Right.
But I want to show why the black and white to me it works. It still has. In fact, I think to me it has a different. It impacts you in a different way.
Right.
And I think Vic is completely right. Maybe you need to buy color version and the black and white version. You got to buy both of them.
You got to see both.
We will. We'll definitely make that a tier where you can have each of the color and black and white. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in this, you get to see. I showed some of these pages prior without the lettering, but you get to see these black and white pages, and that's another thing. Let me go ahead and stress this. And I think Lee is going to be, going to back me up 100% of this. This book is done. It's done. It is not, when this campaign launches, there are other campaigns that are out there, and I'm not going to fault them for how they wanted, how other creators do it. But what I love about what Lee's doing is this is done. It is done. You're not funding it to like pay for additional pages to be done, to pay for a colorist, to pay for the extra writing to complete issue 1. No, this is done. It's good to go. So when this gets, I'm going to say it's going to get fulfilled. It's going to get funded this go around. And when it does, Lee's going to fulfill it. You're going to get this book. You won't be waiting for like, 3 months, 6 months, a year. You're going to, as soon as the supply chain issue and the postal service can get it, it's going to be out the door. Right. So 100% done. So that's a big selling point. So let's keep on going down this art. I love this tank, accurate, right? It is an accurate Soviet tank. This is the gritty realism that that Lee wants to stress with this. These are completely accurate. And this particular page, Lee. You want to share a little bit about talking about your creative process. You want to talk about like how when you script and when you write, do you give like very specific details, or do you just let the artist roam? You want to talk about how you do this?
Well, Scott Wilkie actually wrote the script.
Oh yes.
There again, I give him kind of where I wanted the story to go, and so he came up with the script and did an amazing job. And he, like I said, it's kind of like when I was working with Peter on Godsend. The stuff that he added would have been something that I was like, man, I should have done. I should have thought of that myself, But he does write a pretty detailed script to give, so the artist doesn't have really any question.
Okay.
What he needs to do, yes.
And that's what I liked. Maybe that can be a tier that you can kind of do is like, not only are you doing the black and white one, maybe you can sort of say, hey, you can get the director's cut, which would feature like, Scott's script. And, I think that would be kind of neat. And, you can put it like in this super top secret Russian dossier, type thing. And I just thought it was neat because, I'm looking at these black and white pages, and it's like a storyboards for a movie. You have the camera panning in, it's zoomed out here. It's going by the tank. It's flying, and you see like this barred window in the gulag, and then it flips to going inside the gulag. And then you have this scene here, which is really powerful. And then, let me go back here, and you get a sense of the technology. Here. This almost looks like one of those Jedi hologram projector type things. Yes. So it's bound in realism, but you can sort of say it's not too distant future.
Right.
And, there's some advances in technology. yeah, let's keep on
and
going.
There's so much life and movement in each panel. Like you
I
could see the snow falling. You're just moving with the camera through this. That's what makes these pages so amazing. That's why I was like, when I finally saw them, I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, Vic,
you guys need to get this book.
Exactly. Where if you don't get it, Vic and I are big fans of this book. So,
there you go.
If you didn't know already, we are. But here we get into some of the storytelling here, and I love the splatters effects. I mean, you know, we already get a sense. It's like I feel cold, like just looking at this, you know, because the artist has gone, and I'm trying to remember what his name is. It's an artist that passed away late last year. He did I think it was like Marvel. He did the follow-up to like, you know, Alex Ross did Kingdom Come, and then he did Marvel's version of like Kingdoms Come. I think it was called like the Marvel X Universe, or I forgot what his name. I can't think of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter because it evokes this style. It has that gritty realism, very strong positive negatives. I mean, look at the. I was drawn to like. You can really see the difference in terms of like the textures, you know, from the way the shadows fall on his pants versus his camouflage, you know, BDUs, you know, on top. And then the shadow play that you have here with the bars coming in here. I don't know. I really would like to see Scott's script and see how because then I want to see how Flavio interpreted it and was able to do that. Like, is this?
Yeah, you can see the steam coming out of his mouth. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's cold.
Right. I mean, this panel right here in the center, brilliantly composed, and these tattoos.
And now the steam coming out of his mouth was Scott's idea also, because we had gotten he put that in the script, and Flavio left that out, and Scott wanted us to put that back in, and which I agree. I'm glad we did, because it already feels cold, like you said, but that just adds to the feeling.
Right. And even if people like don't immediately like, hey, look at that steam, when they're visually looking at it subconsciously, it's putting them in the shot. So like, you know, you've already established it with the snow in the first page, and then seeing this, brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's almost like you could see like a rat maybe running in the background, like the showing in the gulag. You could see like a rat maybe like dart across that you know, the lighting that's in here. But I have to say, look at even this tray of food. I've never been so like wowed by a tray of food, guys. Just, you know, and here you see the breath as well. And just really nice storytelling. So let's keep on going here. I don't want to like. We're just going to look at these from a compositional standpoint because it's so strong. I think color definitely adds an emotional feel to it. But when you look at this too, it forces your eye to really pay attention to the shapes, the you know, how your eye is being, you know, led through the entire composition. And you know, everybody talks about the Z, you know, reading it like in a Z, and you can see that, you know, how you framed it. I mean, really, you know, you have these in this middle block, you have these positive and negative black spots, blacked out spaces.
Right.
And it just reads so well.
And you know what? There's nothing scarier than Anatoly smiling. Look at that. Look at that last panel. That's so creepy. You bring on the zombies, but look at this guy. Look at this guy smiling here. You know he's up to no good.
I know. It's like, it's the sadistic smile. You know, when he's smiling at you, maybe he's about ready to like,
that's a bad thing.
You're about ready to leave the world if he's going to give you that grin right there. Right here, lights off. He's just, you assembled a great team, and I would.
Oh, thank you.
I would like to hear. I'd like to be a fly on the wall in terms of like when you're talking with Scott, you know, as the creator, giving the loose story details, and then of course Scott formalizing it and writing it, and you know, building the. I'm going to say it's like a screenplay, you know, that he's.
Yes, and actually, you know, Scott is really the co-creator. I mean, he keeps saying he's just a writer, but he's the co-creator. So because a lot of this stuff he came up with, you know, I gave him my idea of what I wanted to happen. And some of this stuff was 100% his he came up with, you know. So, so yeah, he's the co-creator, even if he refuses to acknowledge that.
Well, I just see good people. This is what Lee's talking about. He surrounds himself with good people, good, talented people. And here, you know, this is an example of kind of like that. You get the sense of like this lighting effect here, but I think this particular panel as strong as it is, it would actually be even stronger if it was in color. This would give you that example of a page to like maybe so like you see like the light streaming in here, and that would be an example of like that last colored page that I showed.
Right, yep.
Yeah. Oh, I just thought of that artist, John Paul Leon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Yeah.
This,
he was awesome.
I think that your Flavio, he's in the same category. He has a nice command of like shadows and light.
Yes, definitely.
The composition. I mean, look at the textures in these bricks. I'm okay. If you guys aren't sold on it, I don't know what else I can tell you. You are dead if you don't like. If you're a zombie, if you can't appreciate this. Phenomenal storytelling here. Again, selective choice of color. All right, this is the last page I'll show to you because this is my my coom. That was my sound effect that I got to say stop. No, not going to show that. And I think this is probably not shown on the last Kickstarter page. So I got permission from Lee to show one more teaser page that you didn't see on the other Kickstarter page. But yeah, so good, so awesome. Red Scare, got to buy it. All right.
Support the Kickstarter, yeah.
Okay, so let me get rid of this, and we're gonna wind down the show, but we're gonna talk a little bit more about Red Scare. Yeah, so Mr. and Mrs. Health and Beauty looks amazing. Couldn't agree with you more.
Thanks, Braxton. I appreciate it.
Sarah says, go ahead, Vic.
Oh, it says, Lee, do you have plans for alien horror stuff in the future after this project is done? They're liking you in the horror stuff already.
I really kind of have to focus on one thing at a time. I do have an upcoming. I do have another idea already that's very early development, and I'm not sure. It's not going to be horror. It's going to be more vigilante type thing, but a street level heroine. But it's really early developments, and I've not nailed down very many details on that yet. Just the character, what she looks like, is all I've got right now. So
I'm intrigued. Details. Okay,
we already have a feature to lead it out episode.
Yes, that means we're gonna have to have you.
As soon as that's ready, you come on. We want to see that one too.
All right, good deal.
I say female vigilante Lee Jiles. Yeah, check. They're all check. You're gonna have to be on there. But yeah, let's keep on talking about Red Scare though. That's something to tease about because we're going to talk about the future. But right now let's talk about Red Scare. So Red Scare, going to give you the cliff notes on it. February, March, leaning more towards March. We're going to see a brand new Kickstarter. We want you to follow Lee. You can see the scrolling ticker below. Like, follow, subscribe. Make sure you're in the know. But we're going to do our part to make sure that our Comics Cast fans know about it too. So you let us know when you're ready to launch. And that way because we're going to make sure that I don't understand why it wasn't funded. It blows my mind. He had 85 backers too. For a first, Kickstarter and it not to be funded. That's just blows my mind. I don't understand why. But, Lee's kind of like analyzed it. He's kind of figured out what he's going to be doing. And, I think you talked about maybe adjusting your funding goal. Doing.
And we're actually probably going to add some of Flavio's original artwork too. That's something we didn't have. And that's something if I can keep from keeping it all for myself, that's a tier that we'll be adding too. And I think that'll, hopefully that'll help some, but yeah, you'll have the black and white option or both if you want,
right.
And a few other things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a lot different this time.
So hold it a little bit close to your chest with some prizes. So you heard it first here on Comics Cast. He's going to maybe have some original art tiers, so you can see maybe you can just sort of like find the happy medium. Maybe you can do limited edition prints of the original art. That way you can kind of keep it.
There you go.
Exactly. But just sign and number them and maybe get Flavia to do remarks on it. I'm just trying to help you out because I know as a creator, you kind of feel very attached to the artwork. You want to kind of keep it for posterity and stuff like that. But, you also want to make it attractive to people that are out there that are going to be fans because, who knows, Vic and I, might be wanting to scoop up some of those original Flavio pages.
I would offer NFTs, but I have no idea what they are or how to do them. So.
Okay, we had a conversation about that during Friday Freestyle. I'm going to tell you, Lee, it's black magic. It's like there's so many pros and cons, and actually how you sell them, how you mint them. Is it good for the environment? Is it bad for the environment? Is it a big pyramid, scheme? I don't know, but you explore it. I mean, I don't know what this. Yeah.
What I've researched about it, it's nothing that I would be interested in. I think it's a flash in the pan. I think it'll be gone and forgotten very soon.
Okay, so you heard Lee's. We're gonna do a show. I think talking about NFTs and crypto. I'd love to hear what our guests talk about it. I think that would be a ratings bonanza. We'll have to talk about that during a Friday Freestyle. Have you on there talk about it. But yeah, I think everybody thought that about crypto, and then I'm wishing that I bought crypto stock 10 years ago, because
that's good.
We'd all be like, heck, we'd all be publishers, like super publishers, whatever. But I think that you're doing good, Lee. I think you're doing good with what you got. Okay, so look forward to that. Red Scare coming out back at you, new and improved, black and white, as well as color versions. Going to see some additional tiers added to it. Yes. It's going to be funded. I'm gonna go ahead and read the future and talk about that. Awesome. Okay, so I guess from that being said, you have any other final thoughts you want to tease about Red Scare before we get into doing the Oscar speech?
I'm just as excited for the second issue as I hope everybody else will be already. So I'm looking forward to that. But no, it's I think it's a really good book. I mean, it's mine, so what else am I going to say? But I think you'll really enjoy it. Give it a chance, and even if horror is not your thing, it's not even my thing. So I think it's something for everybody. A lot of interesting characters, a lot of cool action and zombies. So there you go.
Oh, I couldn't have said it better. That's the way you got to look at Red Scare. It's more than just a zombie book, right? It's more than just a zombie book.
It's about Anatoly Severov's journey. So there you go.
There you go. What were you going to say, Vic?
Great story, great art. You can't ask for anything else in the comic.
Thank you.
So everybody's going to check it out.
Yeah, I was pointing down, and I should be pointing to myself, because Vic and I are we want issue 2. We want to know what's going to happen.
Cool.
And and I encourage our audience to do the same. So all right, so let's move. Let's close this out. I want to put the mic back in your hands, Lee, and it's we call the Oscar speech. So this is your opportunity to talk about anything you want. It's the mic, and this is also maybe talk a little bit about the future. Without spoiling anything about Red Scare, we already heard a little bit about this female vigilante, heroine or not heroine. I don't know exactly, but I just want to hear what About Time Comics, what their future is as well. Okay. So you basically, it's in your hands. You basically give us your Oscar speech.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in and listening to me talk. I hate to hear myself talk, so I'm glad that everybody else tuned in to listen. No, the Red Scare Kickstarter coming up soon. Also, I forgot to mention when we were talking about Godsend, we're actually working on the 6-issue collected edition for that. We've been asked a lot over the years about when will there be a collected edition, so that's coming very soon also, so you can get all 6 issues of the origin story in one handy volume. So other than that, we're just we're trying to get Eric Dotson's Dreamer story developed. That's another one that's been around for years, and right now we have an 8-page kind of preview book for that, but it's been kind of in development hell, as people say. We've been focusing on Godsend, and it turned to Red Scare, and so that's something that we want to get going. I have the script for In-Flight Service number 3 in hand from Peter McLeod, who writes Godsend. He also writes In-Flight Service. So that'll be coming soon. Definitely more Red Scare from Scott Wilkie, and hopefully this new book like I said, I have to focus on one thing at a time. So we'll see where that goes. But I'm excited about it too. We just want to keep making good books that people will enjoy. We try to make things PG-13 so everybody can read them, even horror books. So I guess that's it. Thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I have had a lot of fun.
Oh, we have too. This has been a treat for both me and Vic. I mean, I think we were fanboying as soon as I got some of the artwork. I was a fan back when you were, on our show the first time, and I just basically shared that same love. Showing that to Vic, and Vic became a fast fan as well. And I hope that our audience feels the same way. Lee Jiles, I'm going to say, good guy. The good guy in the industry.
You guys are good guys.
Good guy, great books. He's got something for everybody.
Yeah, good guy, great books.
You.
Godsend. It's all G's. I just went down the whole alliteration, whatever. But yeah. So excellent. And as we close every show, we talk about one last thing, and that last thing is, let's pull this up real quick. It's another G, Golden Fight. How coincidental is that? But on a serious tip, Golden Fight. Thank you, Vic, for changing the banner there at the bottom. Golden Fight is an organization that's near and dear to Comics Cast, and they are an organization I like to call that is big enough and small enough at the same time. A charitable organization, small enough in the sense that they aren't nationwide. They have a very tight area of influence, which is the Mid-Atlantic region. My neck of the woods of the United States, and where they're huge. This is what Golden Fight is about. Golden Fight is a charity organization that helps raise money for families that are dealing with very difficult situations. Their child has been impacted with like a very severe disease like cancer, and when parents are focused on the healing of their child, inevitably they will have financial difficulties, and that's where Golden Fight comes in. They raise money, and I used to think that money was like 97 or 98% of it would go to the families. I found out it's actually 100%. 100% of that money goes to the families because they have had situations where they've been touched by that. They have certain family situations, or they know family or friends that have done it, and they know what a struggle that can be. So 100% of their money. I used to think like they just kept like 2 or 3% to take care of administrative things, which is a feat in itself if you think about it. If it was just a small number, but 100%. You can check it out on their website. 100% of their money goes to those families. Little bit of a kind of things that we touched about in the year-end show. We are always looking for ways to help them raise money. And we're going to be doing a activity book, and it's going to be an activity coloring book that's going to be given to any of the kids that are dealing with this difficult disease. And the money that we raise by selling it to the public, 100% of that money will go to them as well. It's still in the works. We want to get our creators that have been guests on our show involved. So it'll be a good way for helping them get eyes on their IPs, as well as contributing to a great cause. And we're going to try and get that. Our goal was originally Valentine's Day, but I think it's kind of slipping just because of 2022 has been a little bit of a challenge getting out of the gates. So we want to make sure that we do it right. And it's going to be one of those evergreen projects. We really wanted to make it like Valentine, like around that time period, because it is, a holiday that's about caring and love. But, who says it has to be on just one day a year? We wanted that caring and love to go 365 days out of the year. And we're going to try and do that coloring book, activity book a little bit, do it right. We're going to get it done right. And maybe you might see some Godsend in there. I don't know about Red Scare.
Awesome.
Maybe we can have maybe we can have Argos.
There you go. Yeah,
he could be there, and he can. Argos can be delivering Valentine's Days. I don't know. Argos is the dog that's in there. I don't know. There might be a good way to surprise it. Put some in characters, but I'll talk to Lee about that. You can see about maybe getting some About Time Comics IPs into this coloring book. It's all awesome. all for a good cause. So that being said, let me close this out. goldenfight.com. Let me change this one more time. Yep. Gosh, Vic is reading my mind. I don't even have to click on it. I was like, here. So check out the scrolling ticker. We're going to actually copy and paste this into the comments field and that way you can go. You have our permission now to go do that after the show is over. You couldn't do it during the show because we want you here. But yes, go check it out. Like and subscribe. Be on the lookout. February, March, there's going to be a new launch of Red Scare. You can get the color version. You can get the black and white version. You can possibly get original art. I don't know. There's just going to be all sorts of tons of new tiers, and I'm going to predict it's going to get funded. In fact, I think it's going to get funded, if not in the first week. Definitely, it's going to happen.
Awesome.
It's going to happen. I think
I'll
it's going
take
to happen.
that.
All right. I will take it too. I think because then I can say I'm officially a soothsayer.
That's it, exactly.
I can tell the future. All right. So let me, I guess we're going to wind this down. Vic, do you have any final thoughts before we close this out?
No, just I want to say thank you to Lee for coming on. It was a great show. Love the book. Everybody check it out as soon as his campaign goes live, because it's a fantastic book. You will not be disappointed.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Could not have said it better myself. So thank you so much for spending your Sunday with us. Look forward to seeing you on another edition of Friday Freestyle. Next week, We're going to be doing that, as well as another edition of Let It Out. We'll be posting on the social media interwebs who that guest is going to be. And every episode just gets better than the last one, and it's always a thrill to have guests just like you, Lee. So thank you so much for being with us. So that being said, we want to say goodbye. We will see you on Friday. We'll see you next Sunday with Let It Out. Make sure you like and subscribe, Comics Cast, and you follow Lee. You got to do that as well. All right. See y'all later.
See ya.